Yo, happy Easter, everybody. Welcome. It's your boys. We back at it again. 10 Cents Podcast, live and direct. It's your boy Rick Rob here. Let's get started, why don't we? Renee, talk to me, Goose. How you feeling?
Happy Easter, everyone. I'm hurting a little bit. I drank a little too much last night, but I'm ready to knock this out.
Renee, that looks like a Christmas sweater. Is that what's
Nah,
happening?
man, it's Jesus.
Oh, okay. The Lord is my bad. My bad.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
disrespect. I'm sorry.
I know
Let
you
me
did it.
stop right
I
now.
know.
Yeah. Shout out to Jesus. Mick, talk to me. How you living today?
Gentlemen, it is Easter today, and I'd be remiss if I didn't channel my inner Mick
Oh,
today, head of the Saddleback Church. The guy's special. It's Easter day. He's risen. Vaya con Dios. Mick Warren.
all blessings be. Brian, talk to me.
Hey, y'all.
Talk to me. How you living today?
Doing good. Listen, I just have to say a couple shout outs, actually. Big shout out to my daughter who turned 19 yesterday.
Hey, happy birthday,
Hey,
Dylan. We love
happy
you.
birthday.
19
Birthday,
years old.
Jalen.
And one other shout out to both my sister and my father-in-law who will be celebrating their birthdays tomorrow.
So, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Shout out to the fam.
The Henrys.
The
Early
Henrys,
April.
yeah.
That's their time. Early April.
Your daughter is
Yep.
19 already? Man.
19.
Man,
Crazy.
Hey, stay away, y'all.
You ain't choked no one out yet? You ain't
Yeah,
choked
wait.
no young
No.
man out yet? You ain't
Knock
had to?
on wood. Haven't
Yeah,
had
I'm
to
just
yet.
saying.
And we still got a belly up in Cabo. She knows that's on the docket.
Yes,
Yeah,
she does.
man.
Yes,
Yeah.
she does. It was brought up yesterday.
All right.
Luda,
Anyways.
talk to me.
What up, world? This is Luda coming at you with the crew because this is how we do when we do what we do. Happy Easter, everybody.
Yes, sir. Eddie P, what's good, man? Is that a Kango?
It is. It's one of my many different colored Kangos.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
feeling black today. I'm going with black today. So
I'm glad you clarified that.
And I know how to take that right now.
I'm feeling black today. What up? Happy Easter, everybody.
That's better.
Well, welcome, ninjas. I mean,
Hey, black actors, dude. Black actors.
you know what I'm saying? I'm glad to have you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else to say about that.
Roger.
KDZ, how you living, man? Welcome back.
Thanks, appreciate it. I didn't know we was gonna have Joe Pesci on this episode, so shout out to Joe Pesci.
You looking at me?
Nah, I'm looking at Eddie Peasy. Squad, it's your boy straight out of California. This episode, still out in this
You gotta
bitch.
remember where you was.
Yeah, nigga. Hey, man, life of a traveling man, niggas. Life of a
He's a
traveling
Rolling
man.
Stone.
Exactly. What's up, squad? What up, world?
Yo, well, welcome back, man. Yo, I'm happy to be here with everybody. Real quick, I just want to throw a quick shout out and prayers up to our man DMX, man. Earl done OD'd again on us, and unfortunately, he had a heart attack. He's in the hospital. They say he's breathing on his own now, which is a good sign. And I hope he recovers 110%. Not only get out of that hospital, man, but get yourself together, brother, and stay off that stuff. It's no good for you, man. Make that good music and do what you do. You know what I'm saying? You heard? There it goes. I had to throw my bark out there. That was
That was
rough.
not a very
Yeah,
good one,
I
dog.
love
Oh,
some
right.
good
I kind of
That dog, that dog
Oh
almost as dead as DMX is, dog. Not good.
That was like a
my
puppy.
God. Well, you know what?
Oh,
My bite is
That
bigger
was
than
like
my bark. How about that? All right, so real quick, let's jump into the NBA. Let's do this real. We don't have too much, but I wanted to bring this up as this week. This man, if he wasn't named NBA Player of the Week, I don't know, man. I feel like we were just gonna jump it off with a little debate. I want to talk about Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook started this week off by putting up a 35 and 20 assist triple double. So basically, at 35 points, 20 assists, and I think it was like 14 boards. The man did it all for his team, as he usually does, right? He's not like he's really played with too many amazing teams, with the exception of the Houston team, which you know, we'll see.
OKC back in the day.
Okay, see.
Yeah, OKC back in the day, but that was very early. You know what I mean? And we seen
Yeah.
what happened, man. The sky was the limit for that team, and then that thing was blown up, right? And a lot of people have had harsh words for him, including Stephen A. this week, who said basically, I'm just going to paraphrase. He basically said he has no rings. What the heck does all these stats mean? I just want to ask y'all: Is Russell? Is he right? Is Russell?
Is Stephen A. right?
Is Stephen A. right?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, can we not respect this? 35
No,
and 20.
no, I think
triple-doubles?
it's
Like,
well
look what he's doing.
respected. I think it's well respected. Like, yo, he's gonna be a surefire Hall of Famer. Like, no questions asked, right? First ballot. But
Mhm.
at some point, like, I mean, bro, like,
You got to solidify it with
if
the
we
ring.
come to
you
expect
know?
this greatness from him, then we also expect the championship at some point. Like, that's what they expect from great players, to win a championship.
He's going to go
Okay.
down as a great player without a ring, dude. He's not going to get a ring in his career.
Unfortunately, nowadays, the only
I
way
don't see it
people
coming.
win rings is by teaming up with each other.
Exactly. That's what I was
Or
just
making
about to
these
say.
huge ass squads. I mean, you know,
And then his stats are a little empty this year because I mean they're in the East and they can't even make the playoffs, and it's the East.
They might be able to play the playing.
And there's
game,
two
maybe.
All Stars, basically him and Bradley Beal.
Well,
Yeah.
They should be able to slide at least in the 8th spot.
This goes back to all the debates we always have. What do we value more?
Yes.
Rings
Yeah.
or
Thank you.
accomplishments? So, in my mind,
But what happens when you
Great
have all
player.
the accomplishments but the ring? That's all I'm saying.
right.
then
But
you're
I'm
Karl
saying,
Malone and John Stockton.
For me, in my mind, he's got to get a ring to justify everything that he's done.
Well,
to
let me
be,
ask
to
you
be
guys
talked
this.
about.
Would you rather be a mediocre player with a ring or
Yeah.
an elite Hall of Famer and no ring?
I don't know.
We've had this
Oh.
one too.
I would say we've asked this
Right.
question.
Like,
I think
if
everybody
I'm-
said
if I'm
mediocre.
Robert Horry, if I'm Robert
Russell
Horry, I
Westbrook is
guess I
going to
might
fall in
take
that
that.
category. Unless
Hey,
he
Robert Horry is one of the greatest players of all time, sir. Okay,
Oh, no.
he's not a Hall of Famer.
Please
That's-
Okay,
Let's not get into that.
that was the
Easy.
point.
just-
So I
please
think-
don't disrespect.
No, nobody's trying to, Luda. But the whole point with Westbrook is he's probably, to Brian's point, unless he signs up to a team that not only is up and coming, they're just like one piece away. He'll never get there
All right, so
It's
let me.
because teams
unless he's that
teams
player,
go-
that one player away. He's never going to get there.
Yeah, that's
I'll just
because
say
teams
this.
triple up, and you got all
Yeah.
these super power teams now. And I'm with Rick. I think this dude deserves a little more respect than what he's been given. Because he's
Yeah.
been doing this for most of his career, just
I
fucking
agree.
tearing shit
And,
up.
and this is just Stephen A being Stephen A again.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
my
for
whole
sure.
thing. This is what he does. He's got to try to stay relevant. So he
Yeah.
I don't
Throw
think he's
some extra shit out
disrespected
on
though.
them.
I just feel like
Real quick, between what you said, Ed,
Expecting
and what Rick's
greatness out of
saying, how's Russell Westbrook, or compare and contrast him and Chris Paul's career?
exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
okay, that's fine,
There-
but I mean, and to your point, right? We talk about. I mean, it's crazy because the argument he has 20 assists, right? He has 20 assists, all these boards points, basically. So you think about what he's doing statistically to help his team win. But we have argued on this podcast that Chris Paul does a better job of making his teammates better than Russell Westbrook. I don't know what else the man can do, to be quite honest with you. When I sit here and I look
Yeah.
at it, I almost feel like he's been doing it so much and so often and still hasn't gotten the results that we no longer even respect what he's doing. And what he's doing in the NBA, you know what I'm saying, as a small guard is ridiculous. He's one of three, basically. Everything is like Oscar Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain, and him, or Oscar Robertson and him, or Magic Johnson and him. Like,
But
these
the whole point
are
was
legendary numbers.
Hey, you know what
But
all those
Rick,
other people have?
I
the
respect
issue-
what he's done more than what KD's done. Because
Hey,
KD's
amen.
whole thing is scoring, and I get it, but he wouldn't have championships either if he didn't pull that shit he pulled. So
Hey,
But the
Yeah.
whole point is, like, sometimes these players, individual players, make their teams around them better.
True.
I can't say that Russell Westbrook, for every squad he's gone to, and let's say he was the first guy starting the squad off, he was the first dude to make that team better. Chris
Well,
Paul,
I'd say that about
Chris
all
Paul,
three guys
Chris
that
Paul
were originally
goes,
in OKC.
and this is undeniable. Wherever Chris Paul goes, his team immediately gets better. I can't say
You're
the same
right.
thing with Russell Westbrook.
that
I
is
think
true.
That's correct.
But what I was just saying was, look at all three of those guys that started out in OKC. Which one of them makes their teams better? I don't think any of them do.
I'll say
Honestly,
KD, I say
I think
KD
KD
makes his
does.
tean better.
Yeah, KD
I
does.
say Russell
I
Westbrook.
don't know.
I see
Oh,
KD
Well, at least I would
improve.
think so, but he
I'd
ain't
have to
played
agree
in
with
like
KD.
2 years now,
Is
so
that-
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How does,
KD's
how
a
does he
cheat
make
code.
his team better?
How does KD?
Scoring,
Yeah.
influencing the double teams on him, leaving other guys wide open to shoot the ball because he's so dangerous. You take KD out of any of those squads, even that Golden State squad, they don't do what they did.
What about Brooklyn?
But
though?
they won without him.
Averaging 15 assists don't make your team better?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, and think
But-
about that.
but-
15 assists, 15 boards. How many of them boards
But what does
are
this
off
team
of?
do? What does this
I don't
team
know- I don't know if
These
he's
teams don't even go
averaging-
deep in the playoffs.
Well, it's because he ain't got a power team. You need to have three superstars
Right,
nowadays.
right.
It's
I'm
a
not
bunch of
even
bullshit,
telling.
but-
Look, it. I'm not even
Put
telling
KD
him that he
by
has to go
himself.
deep in the playoffs. You got to make the East. Teams with losing records make the East. You got to make it with him
you
and
put
Bradley
KD
Beal.
by himself on any team, they're at least they're in the conversation to be the 8th seed or the 7th seed.
And Bradley Beal is good.
He really, he
but
averaging
he's-
30.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'll tell you right now.
when
I
I
take
think of
Russell Westbrook on
superstars,
our
I
team.
don't think of Bradley Beal.
No, I don't know.
I do.
The Nets might as well just pick up Russell Westbrook.
No,
All
that
right.
won't work out.
All right, well let's keep it pushing. You know what? Speaking of people that we would like to see on the Lakers, now Renee called it. We got Andre Drummond. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Renee Wojnarowski. Now,
But he's hurt.
did you see in your crystal ball him getting a toe injury the first game and
I could not predict that.
Thanks.
come
for
on,
that.
man, Laker Nation,
Yeah.
talk to me. What do we think about this?
The
nonsense?
good thing is we're still sitting in the 4th seed right now.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So
Yeah, shout
even
out
with
to
all
Zay.
these injuries, even with
Hey, your
all
guys'
these
favorite
injuries,
player,
Kuz
Kuzma,
keep
dropped
winning,
it
and
off.
other teams keep
Yeah,
losing,
Kuz went off.
and other teams keep losing. So
You guys are
we're
all
still
excited
right
about
there.
Kuzma. He finally put something up for y'all. 30 piece.
Yeah, you guys
by-
want to
by
get
other-
rid
by-
of him, dude.
While other teams keep losing, we're talking about Jamal's team, the Clippers, right?
Well, after today, will the Lakers be in the 4th seed?
We're in
Oh,
the
yeah,
fourth
I mean,
seed.
game and a half
Yeah.
up. So
No, they won't. If
Yes,
they
we
lose
will.
today, they won't be in the 4th seed anymore.
so then what do they drop to, the 5th?
They'll be the 5th seed and
Oh,
continually
okay.
drop.
Okay, so
Okay.
we're
They
in
still
the
got
playoffs.
7 games up on the 8th seed right now.
All right. Well, we
Is
can
this
be
dude good? That's what I want to know.
We'll talk
Is this
about
dude
this
good?
next
'Cause
week
I never
as
even
they
heard of
further
Drummond.
drop.
Okay.
Damn,
All right.
Jamal, you are not a Laker
Yeah.
fan. I can't.
He's
I can't
not.
No,
imagine
he's
that
not.
you're a
I
Laker
love
fan.
Jamal
Only,
to death,
only
to
once
death,
they,
but the way he
only
says it with a
once they
straight
get the
face.
ring. Only once the
Yeah.
We'll talk
confetti
about
falls.
this next week when y'all lose.
Wait, you guys are the
13
fandom
games.
commissioners? Which one's the fandom commissioner and who's the
It's a collective committee.
I'll take
Is that-
it.
is that what
I'll
that
take
is?
it. I'll take it for this.
All right.
I'll take
It's a
it for
collective
this
committee.
group.
I'm just saying, you break my heart.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't
He's
know if you
broken
was
all
It's
that.
not
ever.
real about my team. You want to
Hey, when you was
What's the weather
younger,
like on Fantasy Island, Renee?
I know
That's
when
where
you
you
was.
live.
There's no fantasy island.
What's the
here.
Yeah, the
weather
same
like
thing
down
about your love with the Clippers right
Hey,
now.
you know
Fantasy
what? I
Island.
would tell
They're the
you
better
that
team.
my
If
island
they're
is
the
not
better team, they're
fantasy.
the better team. You guys
Uh,
want to live like, oh, I don't want to talk.
They're the better
negatively
team
about my
on.
team. They're the better team.
On
I
what?
don't know,
They're
man.
not. They're not the
On
better
what?
team.
Right now, they're better than
They haven't
the
won
Lakers.
anything. They haven't
Are
won
they better than
anything.
the Lakers right now?
By
No.
what?
That's
No,
a
they're
game
not
that's
because
debatable.
of injury.
They
All
did.
right, well,
We
we'll
beat
see.
Orlando, did they?
No.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's
Doesn't
Bravo
matter.
the barometer.
Then, who's going to win today?
We are.
Injuries to one team doesn't make another team better.
I said
Yeah.
they're the better team right now.
And I'm saying injuries are what's going on right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
So who's going to come out of the West? Is it going to be the Clippers or the Lakers, Ed?
Out of the West in the championship?
I
Who's gonna
won't
come
say
out
the
of the West
Clippers.
this
The
year?
Lakers.
The
Lakers.
Lakers.
Clippers.
Lakers.
Clippers
It
ain't even
ain't-
gonna get to the Western Conference Finals
All right.
They're gonna get
we've
bounced.
got
That
this
wasn't the right
recorded,
question.
so we
by
can talk
Nuggets or
about it.
That wasn't
Utah.
the right
They're gonna
And
get bounced
Paul
by Nuggets or
George, Paul
Utah.
George's going to get mad
Yeah.
again.
All right, let's keep it pushing. Lakerland, we got a chance to see. Matter of fact, all fans, I think, got a chance to see something really dope yesterday. You guys checked it out, right? The Space Jam trailer that officially dropped,
yeah,
the
for
2.5 minute joint. Did y'all peek?
Yeah.
In
I watched
that
it.
joint it's Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Diana Taurasi, and oh my goodness, Klay Thompson.
Yep.
Did I say that twice?
Boy.
No, you're good.
I said it right. Yeah, and it looked fire in my opinion. Ryan Coogler, the guy who did Black Panther, you know what I'm saying,
Fire?
is knocking this one out the park. Like, what do y'all think? Y'all
Why you
with this? or no?
laughing?
I'm
I
gonna
just
watch
heard
it.
someone mumble something. I don't know
Yeah,
what.
I said it looked fire.
Yeah,
You
I
didn't think
can't
so?
get behind
I'm gonna
that.
watch it because I
Yeah.
love basketball and whatever. I love Space Jam, but I don't know if it's fire.
Fire.
I guess it's different. You know what? I guess it's different for me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when I look at things like that, I look at stuff that I could enjoy with my son, and he's hyped. I'm hyped. It's fire. You know what I'm saying?
Because you
So-
know what? Right now, I think we might watch it, and Jamal will be like, "Yeah, it's a good movie. He does it for entertainment." You the super movie critic. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
You
I'm
sound
like,
like
yo,
Jamal
they-
on the other side. Right now.
Yeah,
I'm just
well,
gonna
I get
put that out there.
hyped about sports movies. I thought Space Jam was gonna be trash, and what came out of it looks really good. And they got my man Don Cheadle. You know what I'm saying? Don Cheadle,
That's
low
true.
key, is KD. Like KD, if you wanted to dress up as Don Cheadle, it would be really easy.
I can pull it off. No problem, nigga. Like, no
Yeah.
problem. No problem.
No, I
fuck-
thought KD was more like Kevin Hart.
That's what I thought.
I mean, we can go.
Kevin
I'm
Hart still has
versatile,
hair.
you know what I
KD
mean?
doesn't. So,
I'm versatile. Actually, the only good thing I think, like in terms of that movie and the production, is Diana Taurasi being in it. Shout out to her,
Gino
a local
Hill.
legend around here. First of all,
Yeah.
and the second thing is, they've been talking a lot about like women's compensation in terms of like the WNBA compared to the NBA.
salary gap.
Yeah, that massive salary gap. And then I think who was on it? It was Draymond Green was on like last week and got into a little bit of hot water, not hot water, but definitely had like a spirited conversation in terms of like why women aren't being, he's not defending it, right? But he's basically saying like instead of complaining about it, there should be things that they need to market more for women. And that to see
Right.
her being marketed in this movie as probably, she'll hands down, at least top 5 greatest WNBA players, at least of
Oh,
this
yeah,
generation.
easily.
Yeah,
she's
I mean,
the
easily,
GOAT.
right? So
She's
it's
the
really
GOAT
good
right
to see
now.
her in that movie.
I think she's
Yeah.
the GOAT right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I
with
would
you.
agree with that. I mean, and she's putting LeBron numbers. Ain't she in her upper 30s?
Yeah, she's in her upper
Mhm.
She's my age. She's
Still putting-
38. We the
Yeah,
same
still
age.
putting up buckets. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Diana Taurasi. And
But
good
y'all,
point,
hey,
Kenny.
I'm sorry. Y'all think the women's NBA deserves to get paid as much as the male NBA?
All right,
Well,
let's
we
say
had
this for
this
another
one.
one. Let's
That's
we'll get
a
back. You
deep
weren't here for this.
Discussion before, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. We should. I mean, it's still a hot topic. We should definitely get into it because there's. I mean, we've
Although the
covered-
women's U.S. soccer team needs to get paid more than our men's who can't make the
Oh,
damn
for sure.
Olympics.
That's exactly what Brian said when we had this
Yeah.
discussion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%.
We-
The women's.
You haven't
team
listened
needs
to all our podcasts, obviously.
And just real quick, no, they shouldn't.
A lot of them, man. I missed a couple here. And what want me to say?
We're 48 deep. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Economics
All right, so-
speaks differently.
yeah. All right, so let's jump to the tourney, man. First and foremost, shout out to Baylor. They did exactly what we thought they were going to do. They took care of Houston. It was tough early on, right? But that game pretty much went as planned. Did anybody else see anything different?
No.
No.
Back them.
Yeah.
Houston
Was anybody
going down.
was there anything shocking? You know what I'm saying? Like, was there anything takeaway wise that you guys saw?
Baylor
All
got
right, so-
hot. Baylor finally got hot. I'll say that
Mhm.
much. They got hot, and if they can take that into tomorrow night's game,
Yeah.
they got a serious chance at beating Gonzaga.
Yeah. Well, then let's get into the heavyweight battle that I did not see coming. First and foremost, shout out to the UCLA Bruins, man. You know what? Y'all showed all the way up, man. And I have, let me just tell you, I always talk about Bob's, he's not on here, his questionable fanhood. And I talk about a lot of people's fanhoods. You can say during this tournament, my UCLA basketball fanhood was questionable. I'll admit, I had UCLA out in the first round. And I said that last night it wasn't going to be a game. And man, that was the best game that I've seen them play all season.
Man, I can't
And
believe-
I mean, it
That-
sucked, right?
That could have been a championship game.
that was
right there.
heartbreak, man. I saw the highlight. I was like, oh my god.
So Renee and I were talking before everybody else hopped on, man. I'd much rather lose by 20 than lose that way last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
No,
Well-
I wouldn't, but
Well,
either
to
way,
me,
it's hard. Either way, it's heartbreaking.
it is, but I mean, at least in a 20 game or a 20-point game, you're like, hey, we made it as far as we did, and we weren't supposed to win this game.
We
They
weren't.
should have won that game last night.
Yeah, we weren't even
They
supposed to
should
be
have won
anywhere
that game
in that
last
game.
night.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah,
their
for-
opportunities, and ball just doesn't bounce the right way, and Suggs hits a 33-footer. I mean,
Yeah, that was
bank shot.
I think really at the end of the day, and you guys, I know we talked about the refs last night. Obviously, we're talking about the talent level. I think for me, the experience and maturity was the difference in the game. We made some silly fouls. We got in our heads, and then we didn't do the smart thing at the end, which was basically stop the ball. That should have happened. I mean, we played prevent defense. Oh boy is backing all the way up. I don't know what he was backing up for.
I think the key thing on that was the whole lead up to this game was you had to get back on defense because of Gonzaga's transition game. So I
Sure.
think that was just natural. We scored, everybody hustled to get back.
Did you see
Yeah,
how
but
many people
somebody
were in the
but
front?
somebody-
We're back
But
there.
somebody didn't go and at least put pressure on the ball. That was
Yeah,
the
there
problem.
was only
So-
one Zag player back. That's it. And then Suggs and his whole team were
Right.
under the basket basically.
Yeah.
So it's like why we just didn't stop that is beyond me. Renee, what were you gonna
Lou
say?
was
I'm
in his
sorry,
face though when he pulled that game.
Yeah.
winner. He was
Yeah.
right there.
Mm, I mean,
he was there,
jumped,
and he was a big man.
jumped up.
He's a bit, and
He
he's
was
a
right
big,
there,
so-
man. I don't know what to say.
listen,
He
man,
Dame
so-
Lillard. Then what do you want us to say, man? He pulled Dame Lillard. What do you want me to say?
Suggs is a stud too. That kid, if he's not one of the top 2 or 3 picks in the draft, there's an issue. He can
Well, so-
score, he can defend. I mean, he can play multiple positions. So
He didn't look
Well, let me ask you
amazing
this.
last night. Timmy did.
Did you exactly?
Eh.
That's exactly where I was going. Do you feel like that last quarter, or even in OT, was difference between the teams was coaching? Because
Yeah.
Timmy ran off like 10 points almost by himself.
Yeah. Timmy
Unabated.
was the heart with that I don't love that.
I
by
don't
the
either,
way,
but he did his thing, and they didn't have an answers for that dude. and
No.
that dude single handedly, took the game away from him.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, what's our big man's name again?
Cody Riley.
Riley. Yeah, Cody Riley. He stepped up too, and he did some big things too. And I feel like we got a little tense. And then Jazang, they kept saying that Suggs was denying him the ball. I don't think we were focused on getting Jazang the ball the way that we should have. And
there were a few times where we tried to force it to him too much, and then there was some steals. But you got to go with the guy
we're
who
not
can
great at passing.
create and get his own shot.
He
And
still got
that's
29
Jazang.
points, I think.
Yeah, he still had 29 last
yeah.
night.
Yeah.
So
Man, no, Jazang was doing his thing, man.
I feel like this Timmy guy, I feel like we're looking at another Christian Leitner. What do you guys think about that?
oh, for sure, he's already hated.
Yeah,
Right?
I
Like
agree.
A lot of
I
people
just
are
looking
not
at him
fans
like
of him.
he's pretty good in college and all that, but I don't think he's going to be shit in the NBA. Just
You already
just by what I see from him.
But
Exactly like
do y'all
Leitner.
really think that Suggs is that dude too? Like I mean, maybe I haven't watched enough Zag's game, but I haven't seen like
He's athletic as hell. Look at the block he had last night on Cody Riley
Yeah.
coming out of nowhere.
that was a foul. by the way.
Listen.
That was a
agree.
foul.
I agree. I
And
yelled
replay,
for foul,
you
but
seen it get
Yeah.
his hand. So
yeah,
Hands
I
by
was
the
like,
ball.
they don't
I
call
thought
that.
I thought it was a block initially. I was like, hell of a block. Then when they replayed it and they did it in slow mo, I was like, that's clearly a foul.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It was a clear block.
Luda, I don't know if you understand this about basketball, but the object of the game is to slap the ball, not the hand.
Did you see the game?
Hands by the ball.
I clearly did.
Yeah, then we used to say that hands part of
Yeah.
the ball. I don't agree with that in this.
Look,
No, that ain't
my
go both
head-
ways.
My
Well,
hats off to you.
There was a lot of
I mean,
there was a lot of
they-
ticky tack calls
Yeah.
last night too.
There,
That's
there
because they
was.
wanted Gonzaga and Baylor in the championship.
I hope Baylor wins, man.
I'm
I don't
saying
want
it.
Gonzaga to win. I don't care.
Oh,
Baylor.
So
like
I want the Zags
conspiracy
to win.
theorists.
the whole
Nah,
the whole
I want the Zags to
narrative,
win.
the
I
whole
want that
narrative of
mustache
this
dude, Timmy, to feel
Zags
the
going
heartbreak.
undefeated and all that. I mean, how many times did they say that last night during the broadcast? Going undefeated, and we haven't had that happen since 19 whatever it was.
And I don't want it to
78 or
happen.
whatever.
Seven-
All I know is
76.
you guys can send your $10 either Venmo or Zelle. So all of you, whenever you get a chance, send me your money.
I think you.
I-
I think you owe me some money, Ed. No, I was
don't
hoping.
think so.
I
think
I was
paid
hoping
you,
we
yeah.
would break it.
I think I paid you.
We can't even catch up to that anymore, right?
Nah, I don't think no one can.
I don't think anybody can.
I've tried. I've stopped trying. Is there a
Have we-
bracket
have-
still?
Have we even
Yeah.
checked?
I'm still shooting for bronze though, Jamal. I'm still shooting for bronze.
I'm still waiting for some
Oh, wait.
round table pizza too.
Oh yeah, we don't have that. That's for sure. Jamal, everyone, I told you Jamal about to have a pizza party at his crib.
Oh, is everyone?
I'm
The
home
Lakers
every
won the
day,
championship.
and I got money. So come see me.
Ooh,
What'd he
okay.
say?
All right.
He said he
Oh,
got
you-
money.
You
I got
know what?
money.
No,
He
wait a
got
minute.
money.
I just
Hey.
looked it up.
All I
just
need is
looked it up.
$10 and an extra large pepperoni and sausage.
If
Extra cheese.
Ed wins, he
Extra
wins.
cheese.
But if Gonzaga wins, I actually beat him. I go over him.
I'm
No,
confused.
Sure with the points.
Yes, with the points.
let's see.
How,
Check it.
how
All right,
much?
whoa,
How
whoa.
much is the
I think
game
he's
worth?
right because he'll have the winner.
Yeah, but how much is the
Win-win.
game worth though? Because Ed's got such a lead on everybody
He's
that it still may not matter.
just can you check it? Since
I
you're the
looked at it.
mathematician.
I looked
I
at
got-
it earlier. I just don't know how many points the championship.
I got
Yeah.
the champ is
1130, and you have 940, and the max I can get is 1450, and you can get 1260.
So I can
Maybe
win.
there's something.
I ain't no
sliced.
mathematician,
So,
but
so if I win, I can win.
Maybe,
Okay.
but again,
I don't know how much a win counts for though. That's the
That's
only
what I'm
If you
saying.
said max you could get is 14 something, that's 300 points.
1450. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 320.
So, but that's by you winning, Ed. And
Right,
if I win,
right.
you don't get those points. I jump over you, motherfucker.
And then
yeah.
Luda's trying. He's like, yo, run me my $10.
Listen,
and
wait a
with that, we
minute,
move
wait.
on.
Hey,
Wait,
I'll just say, let me
just-
just say
I
this
just
real
didn't
quick.
like him play me the win already. I just didn't like
I
him
think
play me the win.
Baylor has players that can do the exact same thing that UCLA was able to do. They can.
They're gonna
they
have to.
They have two or three. No, but they have 2 or 3 guys that can just put up buckets.
Yeah.
So and they're gonna pull Timmy away from the basket. And not only that, Baylor's got guys who can guard Timmy one-on-one.
Yeah.
That they got some big dudes.
Nah,
who
he
can-
was very basic with his movements. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? So I'll,
but
yeah.
he's good at them. That's the
He was
thing.
great.
Timmy's
He was
good
good.
at him. He
He's like,
knows how to use his
yeah,
body.
he's Big
Uh,
fundamental.
but-
All you need.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
man. Well, shout out to UCLA, man. We just want to throw up mad respect, man. The city, man. You know what? Shout out to the whole Pac-12 real quick.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The
that's
Pac-12
wild.
showed out in both tournaments. I
Yeah,
don't know if you guys
women's-
seen in the women's tournament, U of A upset South Carolina.
UConn.
No, I'm sorry,
UConn.
UConn. Excuse me, UConn. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. South Carolina lost to Stanford, right?
Yeah.
So now it's an
Stanford
all,
should have lost that game though.
Hey,
Yeah,
it is
South
what it
Carolina
is.
had that
It's,
putback.
it's an
man.
all
Oh,
Pac-12
man.
women's
is.
final. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So shout out to the 12, man. I just want to big up the conference, big up the West Coast. We're doing big things, man. So salute, and I look forward to watching the ladies. I got U of
Yeah,
A in that
today.
one. I got U of A in that one. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go forward real quick. Just want to touch on it. MLB opened up on Thursday. Did you guys watch any baseball?
I did.
I did.
Plus
Okay.
the Dodgers get smacked.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did too.
I wasn't happy about that.
Easy. It was game one.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm
take
just saying,
it
Alex,
easy.
Alex says I
Why
watched him
you-
get smacked. That's it.
You always
One
like
game.
hating on people. You always like
I'm
hating
not
on
hating.
people.
That's not
It's all
hating
right.
if
They're
it's a
2 and
fact.
You're
one.
not saying.
They're
That's
2
what
and 1
happened.
after 3. They're 2
Yeah,
and
I'm
1
just
after
saying,
3.
I'm not saying that they suck. I just said they
No,
got
you're
smacked.
saying, but you're saying something.
No, well, yeah, I'm going out there. They suck. What?
Who?
I just said it just to make Luda more mad. That's all.
Dodgers?
Yeah, I just said it just to get him upset.
Well, hey, you know this group. Anybody says anything negative about their team, they get all up in arms
Yeah,
about it.
no.
So, you
Whoa,
know,
whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Now this group.
Y'all been
is-
talking. Y'all been talking about Philly all year, man. I ain't give. Y'all right. We suck. Anyways, all right. Well, anybody want to say anything? Any wild predictions or anything like that? Nah. Let's
Dodgers
just let it go.
Yankees.
This is too
Dodgers
early.
Yankees.
I like Dodgers Yankees.
That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see what we can do with that. You know what I mean? We'll see what we can do with that. All right, let's push on. We got the Masters. Does anybody want to make some picks? I'm out.
We
If
did-
Tiger
we
ain't
should've-
playing, I'm not playing.
We should have picked a golfer, but it started when? It started already, right?
No, it's,
Oh, did it
it's,
start?
No, it starts this coming weekend.
Let's say I thought it.
Yeah.
Starts on
We still have
Thursday.
time to pick a golfer then.
Yeah, no,
Fun,
I'm
dude,
picking
no golf
Tiger.
like that.
He's sitting on the
Dustin
side. I saw mine. He said Michael Jackson.
No, Eddie P went Dustin Johnson again, so he
I'm
can.
going
Dustin Johnson.
McElroy or whatever his name is. Rory.
Well, that's the only way we're even going to tune in if we have some skin in the game, right? I don't know
probably-
who else tunes into the
I ain't gonna
Masters.
lie, I might not.
I'm not
tune
gonna-
I'm gonna
I'm
pick
not
the
tuning in
Mexican D.
regardless.
Trevino. Oh,
There it
wait,
is.
Retired.
I was
on the
with
senior
you.
tour.
I was with you, P. I was like, I'm going with
Yeah,
him too.
Chichi
Let's go.
Rodriguez, but he's way
He's on,
retired.
he's on the senior tour also.
Do any of us
Rodriguez.
on here play
He's-
golf?
yeah.
Seriously? Serious question?
I-
anyone
I-
on here
I
play
Wii
golf?
golf. I play
play-
Wii
Okay, I was
golf.
just wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Did
We.
you say we golf?
yeah. Wii, bro. That's it. All right. So are you guys gonna pick somebody or y'all want to skip?
we can skip.
Yeah, ain't nobody was. All right. Well, shout out to the Masters.
We can talk
They're
about
Masters.
it next weekend because on Sundays it'll be the final round anyways.
Right.
There it is. All right, so on to the second quarter, baby. It's gauntlet time. So this week we're gonna once again jump into some Don't At Me, and this time this is just some random stuff that I once again found on the internet that I wanted to discuss. So these aren't necessarily my beliefs. I know we're getting away from the way Don't At Me is supposed to work, but it's fine.
That's all right.
Don't add it.
You just don't at me and my don't at me.
Don't add it.
Don't at me and my don't at me, man. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I do believe the second one, but we'll start here at the first one. So, hey, real quick, the no call in the women's. I know we talked about the final, but we got to go back around to the Elite Eight and the no call in what was it? It was the UConn and Baylor game, women's game.
Yeah. Yep.
Where I forget her name. I'm sorry. It was Dejanay. That's her last name. Dang it, I forget. Anyways, Dejanay went up for a shot against two UConn defenders, and she basically got mauled. Hit the ground pretty hard, got no call, and the game was over. UConn went on to get upset. Do you guys believe that was the worst call in history, or do y'all have something worse?
The
No.
Rams pass interference is one of the worst calls I've ever seen in history.
I was waiting on
Yeah,
somebody
well,
to say that.
we're not talking about
Cheating ass
football.
Rams. Sorry.
What-
no,
what
we
I'm-
talking about.
I'm talking
the
about
worst-
of all time of any sport.
Okay.
I'm talking about of any sport.
Or,
Those
I was
ass
going to say
Rams.
3 years
Fuck
ago
is-
when
Eddie?
New Orleans got jobbed when the Rams DB.
Yeah, that's what we talking about.
That's
That's what I'm
what
saying.
that's what Renee just said.
That's
Yeah,
what
man.
Renee just said.
There's
You
way
don't have to-
more,
that's
there's
the
way
point.
more
You don't have
egregious,
You
egregious
don't have
ones
to
than
re-bring
that.
it up.
It was egregious, dog. It was
I mean-
egregious.
There's
Yeah,
way
that-
more
that was-
egregious
hold on,
that
hold
was
on,
like
Ed. Hold
murder.
on, Ed. Which
on-
is worse than Ed? What's more
Des
egregious?
Bryant.
Well,
was
I
a
never
catch.
saw the one that Rick was talking about, but
Oh man,
I
I
mean,
mean,
there's a
that tells you
million
you
you
didn't do
can
your
pick
homework.
from.
I put it.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no. But
there's-
what's
and
more
There
egregious
is
than
Michael
the
Jordan's
Saints one?
push off for the game winner.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, that
There's
wasn't
a million
bad.
that you could pick, but
What? Did you say that wasn't
He was
bad?
already-
exactly. Michael
he was already
Jordan
running that way. He
worse.
just helped it. He said, "Go." on.
Yeah, he gave him a full stiff arm. They're like, yeah.
Nah,
Yeah, but
he
then
said-
Michael Jordan
he
was
said, "Yo,
worse.
give me a 4 for 4 at Wendy's too." That's where he was running to.
saying.
He was about to
Hey,
get us some
whatever,
nuggets.
they
He
didn't
knew
call
the
it.
game
I'm
was
okay
over.
with it. I'm just saying.
Let me play devil's advocate
Hey,
real quick.
that's
Don't
what
you
I'm
want the
saying. They
referees
didn't
to
call it.
blow
I'm
their
okay
whistles
with it.
at the end of the game?
What was
Say
that?
that one more time, Mick.
Don't we want the referees to swallow their whistles at the end of the game and let the players decide it?
Yeah, but you can't like that girl. She
No,
got
that's
smacked me in the
bad.
face, dog. You can't smack me in the face and not call that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You can't just maul me and just.
Well, if that was the case, Mick, last night we should have had the charge that they called on
Amen.
Juzang at the very end. That should have been
No,
swallowed
that
because
was
Man,
he,
that was
he
legal.
sidestepped Timmy, and Timmy
Bro.
still went down.
Agreed.
Hey,
I don't
hey,
like
hey,
referees
hey.
deciding games.
And you know what? Hey, excuse me. Okay, because I have a question about this. From my playing days, I thought when you go for it, you have to stand still. You're not allowed to move and then sort of like, you know what I'm saying, like brace. Like you have to stand still.
Yeah, the only time
clearly went.
Yeah,
I think they
every-
trying. I think they trying.
everything in college is
Gotta get
now
to the undefeated.
considered a.
He looked like
charge.
a statue to me.
Oh yeah. So what you blink when he moved? Stupid.
Yeah, I
That's
think
why I
that
was
Rams
arguing
one
with you,
though.
Luda.
I think that Rams one was pretty egregious. Like, man,
Yeah, the Rams
Look,
was
good.
crazy.
The third time?
yeah, third time.
What?
Man,
what-
there's
Murder on-
there's been
It's
ones
like
way
murder
worse
on
than that
camera
Rams
and
one.
witnesses all around, and no one,
Well,
the person still
well,
got off. That's what it
I'm
looked
surprised
like.
y'all didn't say
Man,
the tough
get-
rule one because
get-
that was the end of my Raiders
Oh
fan.
God, the
list.
That's-
chalk rule. Yeah, see,
that's-
there's some that are way worse than the Rams one.
You
About-
see, Renee?
Calvin
But
Johnson's catch
Renee
that
just
wasn't a
hates.
catch.
No, Renee just
started,
hates us.
Oh yeah, that
it
the
started,
whole
what's a catch and not a
what's a
catch.
catch and not's a catch. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Like
That's
I never
very
seen
true.
a brother hate another brother so
Yeah,
much.
Hey,
like
Calvin
that.
Johnson
Just
catch.
tell you,
What
you know
was the Des
Can you-
Bryant one
hey,
that
Uh,
you mentioned?
Yeah,
Don't make me
Uh,
share my
against the
screen
Eagles,
play.
right?
No, it was against Green Bay.
Wasn't that against
Green Bay.
It was Green Bay.
That's right, Green
No, in
Bay.
the playoffs.
Yeah.
Second round.
You lucky
The
I
one
don't
that
share
they
my
were
screen
like,
and
is that a
show
catch
this.
or not a catch?
the Cowboys got jobbed.
That was
Hey,
a
so
catch.
let me ask you guys this real quick, and then we'll move on to the next one. I heard something on Twitter a couple of weeks ago that said the referees should start to have to do post game interviews just like the players do. Y'all with
I
that?
agree. No, I agree. If there's something controversial,
I love
think
it.
that I think then you need to. But I mean, like especially at some towards the end of the game like that, like the very last thing that happened, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think.
I think there should. I think there
Yeah.
should be
You
something.
wouldn't want to hear
Let
from a ref?
me ask you guys this question. What,
Although
what do
they
you
do
guys
it
think
in
about?
boxing.
What do
They
you
do it in
think about
boxing.
What do you think
they'll-
about
they'll
referees
question
getting fined?
umpires in baseball.
Hold on, hold on,
What'd you say, Luda?
What do you think about referees getting fined? Also,
Oh yeah, I'm with that.
I'm
But-
okay with
but
that.
see,
I mean,
yeah.
it's hard to.
There
seem
has to be
like how to find
That's a
them.
discipline
slippery
at some
slope.
point.
Nah,
Okay,
man, you guys are creating bias without
Yeah,
even
no,
trying.
I don't-
Like that's
yeah,
you're
it's slippery
building that
slope.
in inherently by putting structure around the referees in that way, where it's like, okay, did they make a call or not make a call based on whether they're going to get a fine or not going to get a fine?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Part
think
of it is too.
that just opens up
Yeah.
too many boxes. You know, just let these dudes do their job.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: if you're not good at your job, you don't keep your job, right? And that's the way it should be. So some of these referees that like got into a very particular area or echelon in terms of like the games that they ref and the games that matter, like the hockey leagues, all those dudes, they work their way up to that point by making good calls and good decisions. If you're not a good ref, you don't keep your job. So I'm not going to try to
like-
find a guy for
Yeah,
making a bad
exactly.
call. You just don't
Right.
get to do the jobs anymore.
And
So-
it's a split second. Like they don't get to see it in replay like we do 5 times. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, because
Oh, I mean,
let's
a lot
just
of
say
times,
that he's not being crooked. He just sees it a certain way.
right?
And
Yeah.
for whatever
Right.
reason you don't like it, you're gonna find the guy. No,
No,
That ain't
no
way.
All right. Well, hold on. There's two
Go ahead,
things.
let Nick go.
Let me just say
I-
something real
I-
quick. How about
Look.
middle ground? We just publish because they get graded at every game they do. Why don't
Right.
they publish their scorecards?
I was gonna say, and in this day and age of transparency, right? We love the inside the NFL stuff. We love the fact that now they have refs on broadcast to explain different things and to talk about. So in this day and age, I felt like from a fan's perspective, being able to hear what the ref, thought real time, it just adds to the experience, which I personally love. I like to feel in the game as much as possible, and I feel like the ref's point of view would help that. I do understand what you're saying, Kenny. Totally, 100%. But I was gonna say exactly what Mick said. They all get graded. Throw a little bit more transparency into how they see things. Let us all kind of get an idea on that, and then shoot. Just like we vote, or well, I guess the media votes more so on MVP, but just like we're able to debate that, let us do a little bit. Let us have more information to be able to debate. How good refs are doing and things of that nature. I think that would just help in overall the fan experience. Now, real quick before we go on any
Last
further,
thing on that point, because let's
Okay.
say we start to give out their scorecards. Dog, do you want somebody just giving out your performance review every week?
I wouldn't feel no sort of way if I was doing my work.
But that's the thing, though. The
Yeah.
thing is, like now you're open these guys up to even more attacks, right? Because it's
Yeah.
gonna be like these people live real lives. They go home, right? So it's like, oh, you suck at your job. We saw your performance review. As a matter of
But
fact, don't
isn't
look
that
like
the
you
same
gonna
thing
have
we
a
do
job
to
next week.
the
But we
players?
do this. We do the same thing to the players. It's
But
all
these
We do the
players
same
are
thing to the
making
players.
hundreds of millions of dollars and half a
Yeah,
million
the refs
dollars
ain't
at
even
this
getting
point.
close to that. Yeah,
Yeah,
These
but
dudes are
most of
getting
those
a
refs
couple
are
$100,000.
CEOs and that kind of stuff, so they're
Man.
not hurting for money.
Yeah,
Any
exactly.
hands.
Yeah.
Any
listen,
hands.
I don't
I'm
know.
talking.
I'm
Well,
cool
I
with
don't know.
not.
I
I'm cool with
agree.
not the refs. Like,
I
just
think
let
you're
them
just
be,
opening a
man.
Pandora's
All
box
right.
in a way that you could never anticipate.
All right, so
Correct.
before I move forward, real quick, I've got to do this mid show. THC, the coach is here. What up, fam? It's so good to
sir.
see you.
What?
It's so good to
What?
see you.
Fellas, I tell you what, it's been a long road, and I'm glad to be back. There's no other place besides hunting Easter eggs with my little one, which we just got done doing. He was a beast, going
Yeah.
after all the eggs he can find.
Yeah,
And
you look happy,
yeah,
brother.
I'm happy to
We
be
see
back.
your eyes.
Really, I am.
You know what I'm saying? Look at this. You look amazing.
Yeah,
It's so
they're
good
not
to see
red.
your bald
They look
head,
glossy.
brother.
Whoa,
They're not all red.
Never
They're
have
not
I
all red
wanted
and
to see a
glossy.
pink head so much.
Yeah. Very
Love you,
glossy.
man. Hey, and yes, you do have the final word. Spoiler alert. So
Thank you, sir.
You're off the hook, Kenny. You got next week.
So real quick, I don't mean to jump in, but were
you
you guys
did.
talking about last night's game with the
No,
referee?
we were talking about, well, I mean
Well-
that too, but we were talking just in general. If we went back to the women's game in the Elite Eight, the Baylor UConn game, where the girl went up for the shot and she got basically hit in the face, mauled, and they no called that. We were talking about that was the worst call in sports history. So we're just kind of debating some of the worst calls.
And then we asked if refs should do interviews after games.
And then we asked, yes, if refs should do interviews post game.
I like what Mick said about posting the
grade.
the grade, because as I coach PIAA sports, and the referees, the umpires all get graded. They get evaluated by the head coach. And
Right.
I don't know if they're public knowledge, but I mean, I don't know why. I don't know about interviews, because that could open up another box that, because then people
Sure.
can ask questions about cheating, or I don't know where you guys have been. I don't want to backtrack.
Mm.
I do like the idea of being, as far as evaluated. You, like you guys were talking about, those players are making lots of money. And even if you're talking about college, those kids, whether they're going professional or not, that's their life. Besides academics, that's their life. They live for that.
Hey,
Yeah.
real quick, and I don't want to sidetrack us. If we want to continue talking about it, we can. Real quick, one more thing on the refereeing thing, right? Because they've kicked around the idea of using robots to call balls and strikes, that kind of thing. What do we think about that? And the reason I say that is because Tim Donaghy really pulled
Yeah.
back as far as referees.
Forgot about that,
To the
yeah.
point where there's people on this podcast who believe that sports are fixed at this point. And if that's the case,
yeah.
why are we watching it? It's wrestling then. Why are we watching sports?
Well, I love wrestling first and foremost.
Enter-
Okay, shout out to
entertainment.
WrestleMania that's about to happen here next week. Okay, it doesn't matter to me; it's still entertainment. But you're right. I mean, and I forgot about that. You know what I mean? But I feel like even more so that to me makes me want to hear what refs have to say, because then they have to explain, saying themselves why they saw certain things. It just adds to it.
What I will say to that point, Mick, is that I think that it should be humans that do the
Oh, for
balls
sure.
and strikes and or whatever, because just like what Rick Rob just said, when an official explains something to you, then you're less likely to explode on them or constantly ask them questions or go after them or question what they're doing, calls, because as you know, human nature, if something's explained to you, at least then that should settle your anxiety of they're
Or help you
controlling the
understand.
game.
Makes
Help you
it
understand
palatable.
it.
Okay.
Because if a computer is going back and forth and explaining something to you, it's not natural.
Nah,
it's not
yeah,
even-
Well, one
there's
thing I
still,
just
there's
thought
still
about
air with that.
Is they can get hacked too, right? I forgot.
Yeah,
about
exactly. Yeah, and there's still air. We all know tech. We love tech. Tech has been crazy, but how many times have you seen your phone do some weird shit? And you're like, what the, it's not. I don't want to do it. All right, so moving on to topic number 2. Is Kevin Durant the most sensitive athlete of all time? I know you guys
Yes.
probably seen
Hell
his
yeah.
back and forth with Michael Rappaport. He got fined $50K for that, and Rappaport put out a thing saying, "Yo, I feel real bad about it. This, that, and the third." KD was like, "Yo, I don't want people to see me talking like that." Fab, you talk like that. Like, is he the most sensitive athlete? Jump in on it. Go ahead, Coach. What you
I'm
got?
going to say no. I was watching a Football Life the other day, and just happened to watch Eric Dickerson, and through the whole thing, I mean, he was an amazing athlete, but I forgot how selfish he was and overly expressive of how his distaste for the Rams and them giving a long-term contract. I get it. Everybody deserves to be paid, especially that guy, for what he did. But there's certain ways to be political about things. And he even said that he had a dislike for the game. And when he was with the Colts, I mean, I just talk about sensitive. I think he was overly.
You guys forgot about Terrell Owens, dog. I mean, that's
I
my
was getting
dude.
ready to get in
But
there,
that
yeah.
dude is probably. I'd be hard pressed to find another player more sensitive than that.
Oh, he still
AB.
is. He still is. He
AB.
won't-
Hella sensitive.
AB.
Like
AB.
I don't.
Still won't- he still is on the whole thing about he'll never go to the Hall of Fame, doesn't care about it, doesn't want to see his bust, doesn't dude, you're in. You're in.
He's
Yeah,
and he's
but,
rock the jacket,
he
though.
should have
But
been.
he rocked the
should have
jacket.
been first ballot.
Yeah, but he rocks the jacket. Exactly. He'll
Exactly.
wear it
So-
on a show,
Mhm.
but then he won't.
So
do
I
anything
don't
else.
know. KD's he close second, but Terrell Owens is king of sensitivity in all
Yeah,
sports.
he is
I
super
don't know.
sensitive.
I feel like KD is super sensitive.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Like he
I-
way like you can't say nothing about him getting upset or sensitive.
Well, going-
He
going
had
back-
multiple burner accounts for crying
Yeah, all
out loud
kinds
to
of
try
burner
to-
accounts.
He's always
Yeah.
crying.
Well, let me
always
ask-
crying like a little sissy.
Was
Stop
he
crying, KD.
was
Stop
he
crying. Get your
sensitive-
ass off the fucking
was he
boo boo.
sensitive when he was with Oklahoma or Golden State?
Yeah.
Always
That's
been
why he
sensitive.
ain't in Golden
I think,
State.
Well, I was gonna
That's
say,
why
I
he's
think
not
it
in
started,
Golden
I think it
State.
started with Golden State. Yeah, once he started hearing the stuff from fans for leaving, and then he got it from his own teammate. Said he was just getting it from all over. Yeah, Mr. Sensitivity turned up a notch.
Got it from his own teammate.
Yeah,
when
Draymond Green.
What what
Draymond
happened?
Green was
And
talking
Draymond.
that shit to him.
Yeah, we don't
Maybe I
need you.
forgot.
We don't
Yeah.
need you.
I bet he regrets saying that now though because they can use him.
Draymond who? Draymond who?
Draymond Green.
Oh man, that's another guy, man. I mean, do we not respect Draymond Green because he doesn't score enough?
Well, he got exposed.
Defender,
Think so?
according to him, ever.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't-
when
I
they
don't
needed
like- I'm
buckets
not
and
a
stuff
big-
from him, he didn't do it. Well, of course,
Yeah.
when there was him, Clay, and Steph, Clay, and KD,
And
Draymond
everybody's paying attention to the other three.
Draymond, four of us could have been
Never even
Draymond
been an
Green.
all-star.
Ne-
I don't
never
know why
Draymond
he's
So one of
not
us could
there.
hit Draymond.
Remember Draymond Green didn't want to give up the ball, ran it up the court, and then
Yeah.
fell and lost it.
Yeah,
Dumbass.
That's when they got in that fight.
he had a JaVale McGee
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
All
when
right.
him and Katie got into it.
Yeah. Sorry. So the last one, and I think this one is going to be extremely easy. But after the latest news that once again going back in the tourney, that Oregon State, after they lost, they were kicked out of their hotel by the NCAA. At 1 a.m. in the morning, they had to fly home, and they got home around 4 a.m. after taking an L that night. And then, of course, we saw in the news, the disparity in between the workout facilities for the women versus the men. Long story short, this one is just simple. The NC2A doesn't really care about its student athletes.
We've known that for a long time.
Yeah, I would say we can't really argue with that one, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of yeah.
Cool. Well, we just want to put that out there. We
Nope.
see you, and we move forward.
Third quarter.
All right. Real quick. As the most sensitive athlete, David Ruiz, one of our listeners, is tapping in. He said he's got T.O. and he's got Iverson up
I
there.
see that. Yeah.
Iverson, yeah.
Iverson was a little sensitive, man. We talking
Iverson
about
was?
practice. We talking
Oh, that's
about
just funny.
practice.
Practice.
Man, stop.
That's just funny.
Yeah,
Let's
but
go
I
back.
wouldn't put him at the top for that.
Yeah.
you know.
When I'm telling you, sensitivity, Kevin Durant, it don't get more sensitive.
Yeah,
than
no, that
huh?
boy, yeah, he's something else, man. Hey, Kevin, you too tall. Man, what do you want me to do? Hey, I'll just say you too tall. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
oh,
just-
who was that one that his mom had to come down and get him off the court?
JaVale McGee.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. You know what? That reminds me. You remember women that fall for their man? Doug Christie? Rick Fox?
Oh,
Oh yeah. In the tunnel.
All right.
Low key, Doug Chris or Rick Fox was going to lose that fight regardless.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
he
Oh,
was.
no. That's not low key.
Yeah.
Rick, we know what Rick Fox is good for. He's good for looking pretty. He ain't.
All right.
He ain't
That's Chrissy look like he's ready to put some hands on him.
Yep.
yeah, Rick Fox at the locks?
Yeah, he
nah,
did.
man. just suppress it 2 times, man. Keep it pushing. Anyways, moving on to third quarter, what men think. We got Easter vibes. Since it is Easter, you know, we're just going to talk about a couple of things around that. Why not? You know, nothing too crazy. First off, gentlemen, I want to ask, what does Easter mean to y'all?
Jesus
Open-
is risen,
open
man. Jesus risen.
Okay.
That's for me at least. So, you know, I don't want to speak for everyone.
The religious folk. I got you. Yeah. I guess, does it mean nothing to everybody else that's silent and didn't nod?
No, I think that, I mean, you can go, are you looking for a biblical answer? Or are you just looking at?
No. I just, what does it mean
us?
to you? Yeah.
And
period.
also means you around family. Like I love
Yeah,
it
it's
because
an
I get to be
opportunity to
around
see
my family.
family.
Barbecues.
Yeah,
Mhm.
my kids always come up on Easter, so, you know, they look forward to it.
Still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm
I
saying.
want-
Still,
I wondered when that stopped.
The Diaz. It's the
Yeah,
Diaz that brings.
it's not really, I'm not driving it. It's the other people.
yeah,
Yeah.
Got you.
it's the aunts and the
Yeah.
and the grandmas. For
Got
Yeah,
you.
sure.
man.
Yeah, I got,
Yeah, you
I got
know-
a fake Easter bunny bringing the doorbell here in about 2 hours from now.
Unbelievable.
Gee, really?
Unbelievable.
Who's that from?
Is it
Who's
you?
that from?
It's you, huh?
That's why we need
I
to
got
hurry this
high,
up. I'm going to be running late tomorrow.
Right?
Yo, please send us some
Ebenezer.
pictures of you in the suit, bro.
11:30.
Please send us some pictures. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I did wonder, you know, for me, I'm not necessarily the most religious person. I definitely do believe that in a higher power. And I do totally understand everybody that, you know, says this is Resurrection Day, right? So respect and all that. I don't knock anybody's beliefs, man. For me, it, you know, mostly family, right? And unfortunately, being in Arizona, you know, all my family's in California, so I don't get a chance to spend it with y'all the way that I really want to. But it's okay. We make it a big deal here with Tyson and you know who we do have here, right? But I was wondering, it's funny because, you know, years previous, every year, my son's grandmother, Casey's mom, would be the one to do stuff. Casey's mom is no longer with us. She passed last year. And last year, you know, being a COVID year, we did nothing. So this is the first year where we had to come up with new traditions. And so far we failed. I don't know how hot it is out there with y'all, but it's already 99 out here. So I'm not hiding Easter eggs outside. I'm
I was
hiding
in
inside.
AZ. I was in AZ yesterday seeing my
Oh.
parents, and
Yeah.
it was like 91 at like 10 a.m.
Bro, we was on the
Where
river
they're at,
yesterday,
so,
and it was
yeah.
97. I was in the shade. But you know, I was talking to Casey, and I was like, "Yo, how many years do we have to do these traditions?" Because I mean, he's 7. I was like, by 10, he's probably done, right? And my dad was
Nope.
like, "Nah, probably 12." And I mean, Mick, your kid is what, 15?
My kids are just opportunists. Let's call it what it is. Call it what it is.
I saw someone post on IG, and she was like, "Yo, who says my 19-year-old and 21-year-old kids are too old to get a basket?" I was like- and she had
Yo,
like
they
2
better be
baskets for him, and I
days.
was like, "Good lord!"
But what was in it? Like, I mean, they could be putting like money, gift
Nah, it
cards,
was like
shit like
candy
that.
and
you
shit,
know?
whatever. I don't know
On a
what was in the basket.
PS5.
She just posted them. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, switching real. So let me just ask y'all, right? Let's go back. As a kid, what are some of y'all fondest Easter memories?
Easter egg hunts.
Yeah.
Easter egg hunt?
Those are always
Those were always fun when I did
Yeah.
like them at one point.
They're still
Trying to
fun.
find the golden egg, the best one.
The money
you know?
ones.
The money
Yeah,
ones.
the one
yeah.
with the
Mine-
one with the most money, because
Yeah.
one of them had $10 or $20 and shit.
Mine
So
was
you're
when I
trying
used to
to
go
look
to
for that.
the park. I used to like when we were younger. We used to go to the park and
Oh,
do
yeah.
that at the Easter there.
Yeah.
We get there
Oh.
super early to get a spot, have breakfast, make it an all day thing. It was dope.
Well,
I
I
miss
always,
that time.
I always used to change my money with the younger kids. I'd be like, "Oh, this one's bigger than that one," and it was a $5 for a
That's fast.
$1. You know, I was like, "Hell yeah,
He was
coming
hustling.
up." Yeah.
Hey, I want to hear. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I was watching church this morning, and the pastor was talking about how Easter egg hunts aren't really hunts. They're more
Yeah.
competitions. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's facts.
my kids were laying on the couch, and I pointed to all 3 of them, and I said, I did the same thing for all 3 of you. You know, when you take your kid out to an Easter egg hunt, you try to
Mhm.
you get this one, there's a whole
Yeah.
strategy, and it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Our parents get all competitive and things, but I'm guilty of that.
It's fun times though. It's fun times. Kenny Hens, you sitting in the black, bro. Like I feel like you like, yo, I don't do none of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
It just
Like,
it brings back memories. Like I didn't even want to talk about, but in a pleasant way, just like I just miss the people that used to be a part of those Easters.
Sure.
Right.
Oh,
So,
Totally.
absolutely. Yeah.
That's-
Grandparents.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean,
For
so you
sure.
guys talk about family and everything. Like, we used to get all to get together and eat like nobody's business
Mhm.
to the point
Yeah.
where you like we stretched out in the yard because you can't move no more.
Had
Right.
that
And then
fat
you go to
belly
the Easter
shut-eye.
baskets and you try to look for like the ones that had like little games in it. Like, so you had like the little, I don't know, not badminton, but whatever that was, where it had like
Oh,
the
yeah.
shuttlecock flying in the air and like
Yeah.
the cheap ass rackets and shit.
Yeah, man, we used to do it too.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff that I missed about Easter, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
for
I
sure.
our
Yeah.
families was
Those are great memories.
pretty religious too. So, but the stuff that I really remember, like, just stays with me is like the people I was with during that time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen to that, man. Casey and I were having a conversation. Actually, my mom and I were having a conversation about that. And, you're right. In all honesty, these holidays, the one thing that always, well, first off, I just miss not being at home in California. Like, it sucks because, I'm used to being home with my people and being able to do stuff. And, in my adult years, I haven't had that. And that really, like, as now that I have my son, you know what I'm saying? Or I've had him for the past 7 years. But anyways, now that I have a kid, that really gets me because, yeah, like you said, Katie, you think about the people that you got a chance to involve yourself with during those times. I mean, and I've got cousins, I've got aunts and uncles, grandparents, man, that you just, they're not here, or I don't see some people, you know what I mean? And that sucks because I know they would enjoy Tyson and Tyson would enjoy them. And it'd be, super dope just to see that. So yeah, I agree, man. I definitely agree. It's a little bit of a somber moment, but you know what? We do what we can. We're glad that we're here. Let's switch reels. Let's talk Easter candy. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Easter is for candy. It's the second biggest holiday behind Christmas. I was not
Halloween.
aware of that.
Behind
I'm sorry,
Halloween.
behind Halloween. Excuse me.
That would be
Behind
really weird.
Halloween. Thank
A
you.
lot of Christmas gifts with just candy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The
That's all right.
stocking for it. You get candy in
Yeah.
the stocking?
Well,
Yeah,
candy
I definitely
canes
put candy
and
aside.
shit. I would say candy canes the biggest seller during Christmas for candy.
Yeah. It's
You-
big.
You
But
don't find
let's
no
talk Easter
Hershey's
candy.
Kiss and that shit.
Easter candy.
What do you guys what's like some of y'all favorites?
Man, give me that bunny with the Reese's. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Reese's- the
that
Reese's,
bunny,
Easter
I'm-
egg.
I'm knock those out for sure.
Yeah.
You guys remember those commercials with the little the chocolate covered egg and like
Yeah.
walk, walk,
Oh, the
walk?
Cadbury.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cadbury.
I was
I
about
never
to say
liked
that's my joint right there, based off of just the commercials alone. I was like, I always wanted one of those. Like, yo,
That-
But
Cadbury
the
eggs.
funny thing is they
A
bring that
lion
same
and a
commercial
bar.
out every year, like right
Yes.
before.
Well, you did always like that gooey shit. That's in
Whoa.
the middle.
Oh, wow.
It's-
Wow.
Easter
Here we
candy's
go.
the same
I
as my
mean,
regular
Locked and
candy.
loaded.
I'm just
Locked
saying.
and loaded now. The
Here we
clip,
go,
full
man.
clip
You know what I mean?
on the chamber.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly, Mick. My Easter candy is the same as my regular candy.
Yeah. Is
The
it
Snickers.
All right.
That's right, Lua.
So what's the most overrated candy?
And that
For
cream
Easter?
cheese
need to go
Oh,
away.
those
Or
easy,
you go
those,
get
those
Peeps.
triangle,
Peeps.
those triangle
Peeps
candies
go
with the
away.
like the
Oh.
orange and the
Yeah,
bottom.
the
Those
candy
Halloween.
corn, that shit is
Those little
trash.
puffy
Like
terrible.
Halloween.
Really terrible, dog.
Yeah,
Get
that's
out of here.
Halloween
It's
stuff.
terrible.
That's
And-
more like
and
Halloween,
Thanksgiving.
though, isn't it? Candy
Yeah,
corn.
Katie was
corn.
getting he was getting candy corn all year round. That's why
Yeah,
he-
man.
You know what?
don't
I'm
get
with
me
KD
started
on
trash,
that. Hey, I'm with
They set you up for failure, Playboy.
Anytime someone hand me like candy corn, I'm just like, yep, put that in the trash.
Oh,
no, thank you.
Trash.
Right.
Between
It was
that
like, yo,
and
we
those,
hate this
remember those
candy. Give it to-
butterscotch candies? Those are
Yeah.
probably the two
Oh,
worst
them little
candies
yellow-
ever made.
Oh, what those? Were they like Big Daddies or something like that?
Remember
Brock's.
they're little.
Remember
The
Brock?
little yellow ones. They
How
didn't
about,
even have
how,
a name.
hey, y'all
Trash.
remember?
I actually like
this is going
butterscotch.
back. This is
I
going
I got
back.
your
Yeah,
big daddy
That's
right here.
old. See, I feel like if you
Shut
like
up, Luda.
butterscotch, you're an old person.
Hey, this is going back. Y'all remember growing up as kids and we go to the supermarket and they had the one area that was candy? Like you had to, like you
Oh,
they
yeah.
were, I think it was Brock's, right? Like
Yeah.
Brock's
Oh,
candy
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
And you'd
Oh,
fill it
you
up.
had
You're
to
all,
go-
you're all
Oh, my God.
mesmerized in that.
Yeah.
How many times I stole out of that?
Right?
Yo, that they can't have that around me during COVID times. No COVID, man. I'm in here. You know what I'm saying? Mama mess around. Hey, go get the bread out of aisle 6. Bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know in order to get to aisle 6, I got to go down by aisle 16 where the candy's at. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Or
snapping.
the produce aisle where they had all
Oh
the
my God, man. Those
Brock's
were good
candy.
times.
Yeah.
I always used to get the little jellies. That was my thing. I would go get the little those little like fruit jellies.
yeah,
The jelly,
Yeah,
jelly
yeah,
beans?
see?
Yeah.
What's it
Little
called?
lady.
beans.
Nah, I'm waiting on Luda to say something because
Yeah,
I
he's
got
about to.
something for him. I got something for him. You know
Hey,
what I'm
bring
saying?
it, Luda. I'm
You
here
go
with
like
y'all.
the Rich Factor right now, my man.
No, he
Because
wanted to
we-
say something.
Hey, you know what? All I have to do is bring up his Facebook, you know what I'm saying, and look at how he's commenting to other men, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Don't
Bring
start
it.
with me,
No.
Luda.
You know I
Hey.
love everybody.
I'll get you, Spider. Yeah. How do you love him though? Why you over here talking that stuff? Talk about how
love,
you really love.
I love him. I
Shots
love him
fired.
tender. I love him tender. Like you love.
Love him a lot.
And I have to say nothing else.
They don't
Open
care.
song?
That's what's funny. They don't care.
Shit, I love my homeboys.
Tenderly, we get you. That's all love.
Hey,
baby.
we love
That's
you
it.
too, Luda. Dude.
Look,
We love you too.
Look,
you
let,
too.
let me let me
Tell
tell
him,
you one
Eddie.
thing.
Tell him you love him, Eddie.
I
Tell him you love him.
love him like Rick Rob loves Renee. You know, you got to give him props all the time. It's like, dude, I'm ready to start a religion for this motherfucker as much as you praise him. You know,
Relax,
So-
relax.
You know what I do? I
Whoa.
praise hardworking people that are dedicated to the cause. You right. You know what I'm saying?
Here we
You
go.
guys-
now,
I-
now
I
we
know-
about to say
I-
Rick
I know
Robin
you-
about the podcast now.
I know you.
Rick and
I know
Renee
you like-
got a little something going on
hey,
here.
hey,
or what?
hey,
Y'all
Bro,
got
what
me
we doing
blushing.
here?
You know what I mean?
Should we turn our cameras
man.
off for a minute?
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all,
You
y'all
know
are
what? I'm
retarded.
not
You know
gonna-
that?
Let's-
You-
let's-
I'm
let's
sorry, you
go
can't say that.
I don't need.
Y'all-
I don't need to be here
y'all
for the last word. No. I'm out this
Yeah.
week.
Wow.
All right, here y'all. Yeah, y'all leave me alone, man. You
Little
know what?
Rick and Renee romance, huh? The
Yeah,
triple
exactly.
R.
I can have
Little
y'all final
bromance.
word and y'all little final moments on your own.
Yeah. All right, I see. I see
All
what
right.
y'all doing. Nice
Rest
turnaround.
and
Hey,
See
you know
that?
what, Rick? I
relaxation.
love you too, Rick. What? And what?
Hey,
I thought that
all
was
good. Yeah.
You guys
Okay.
start
talking about my
the Rest and
Facebook?
Relaxation podcast? R&R?
No, it's gonna be called the Rick
Lotion
and
in the
Relaxation
background.
Podcast.
Oh
Lotion
man,
in the
y'all are
background.
special, bro. Y'all are special. All right, hey. So one last thing. You know what, Mick? This week I'm gonna let you take this over. You had us all do a personality test,
Yes.
and
Oh.
you know what? I
about that.
decided that you definitely are. You're the thing that keeps this wheel going, man. You say something and everybody does it. You got everybody. And I mean everybody to get in on this personality test, which is funny. I
And that shit took
asked
like
what time
30
we should
minutes,
start this
man.
podcast, and ain't nobody say nothing. Mick says do a personality test that takes 5 to 10 minutes. Some people did it twice. You know what I'm saying? That's dedication.
Well,
They just wanted to change the little icon, man.
Yeah.
and I asked nicely. So there's a thing that
Is that what I'm gonna ask?
I
nice?
asked
Okay,
nicely.
Good to know. Good to know. Good to know.
So real
Nah,
quick,
you're mean.
the whole thing behind the personality test was I've done it before with people on my staff, and it's not the end all be all. It just kind of gives us a baseline on how personalities work and kind of the ins and outs of what's going on. So I thought it was a good idea, and I actually watched a program with Coach on HBO Max about personality. So that kind of was the genesis of us doing this. And I sent the results out, but I just wanted to go through I just wanted to kind of highlight some things really quick. And there's 11 of us that are participants within this podcast, on and off. And it was interesting to see that we had the way that our groupings came back. So really the only outliers were Ed and Coach. Other than that, everybody else fell into either the protagonist group, the executive group, or the commanders group.
Executive, what?
I didn't get a chance to put it on a what's it called, on a PDF slideshow. I was going to bring up the specifics of those personalities, and we can go into it next week. We can carry it over if you guys want to, but really executives, those are the guys that kind of, well, that personality trait, those are guys that kind of just get in, get things done, try to get everybody together on the same page and move us forward. That some of the cons of being an executive is, they come across sometimes as being overbearing or hard driving, but that's kind of the
Or
personality
assholes.
of an executive, basically a-holes. And
Yeah.
me, Renee and Brian are
Thanks,
the
Luda.
executives. Me, Renee and Brian are the executives. So, take that for what you want. But it was funny that it came out like that. And when I saw that and read that and found out who was who, and that makes sense. We had 4 protagonists. And the protagonist, and that made sense too, because Bob was the first one that came out. Protagonists are people who like to help people. They're
Charismatic.
charismatic. They like to
Right.
help people. They like to get everybody involved. They like to be the peacekeepers. And I think the protagonists were, it's kind of hit and miss, right? But it was Bob, Luda, Rick, and what was the fourth one?
KD.
No,
Black Rob.
His switch, Black
It's
Rob.
Rob.
Black Rob.
Yeah,
And that makes sense, right? Think about Bob and Black Rob specifically, right? Those guys are just glue guys, right? They come in, they kind of just ease the tension for the most part. Even though Bob tries to be incessant on the podcast and just be a contrarian just for the sake of being it, for the most part, with Bob, you're going to get a guy who's going to put his arms around you, who's going to take care of you, he's going to protect you, right? Rick and Luda, same way. I mean, it didn't shock me that you and Bob were the same thing because you guys came for the same place. You guys are typically the same kind of guy. Rick is like that too, but he's kind of like, I mean, he wants to show that he has a tough exterior, but really we know he's a teddy bear, and you know he's really conscientious of you know how he's portrayed and how he you know reaches out.
Lily would call that tender, sensitive.
A little tender. In a masculine way.
Tender.
And then you had Byron and KD were commanders, and commanders are aligned with executives, but they say in the personality trait type, commanders, those are CEO types as well, leaders of companies. Like it said, you know, commanders typically make the most amount of money in their careers because they're leaders, but they're also the type of leaders who are nurturing who people will follow. I mean, people really tune into these types of people. Go ahead, Coach.
Here's one thing it says: always finding a way or making one.
Right. So they'll say, look, here's how we do it. But then when it doesn't go that way, then they wrangle everybody together, say, okay, look, I gave you an opportunity to do it your way. Now we're gonna do it my way, the way that works, tried and true. So that was Byron and KD, and that makes sense too. Both those guys, like Byron especially, like I can say if the sky's blue and he'll say it's green, and I won't be able to argue him off of it, right? Just because he's so set on how he's doing things. But he's a real, you know, he's a charismatic individual, and he's a leader, just a natural leader, just by the way he carries himself. And KD's the same way, right? KD's adamant about. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
That sounds stubborn.
I can be.
Yeah, there's some stubborn in there, but
that's definitely there.
But they mean well, and if you look at their results driven, and you can't argue with their results, right? If say you don't agree, you can't argue with the results. He is a logistician, and that one's a little bit of a, I don't know, Jason, can you pull that up really quick? I don't know if you have an opportunity. I don't have my computer up right in front of me.
Yeah.
Logistician.
Who is that?
Eddie.
That was
Okay.
Yeah, that's P.
Innovative inventors with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge.
So yes. So P is that type of guy too that, you know, if he doesn't know, he's going to go and find the answer out and then make his argument. So when you try to call him on it, he's already done his research, right? He knows what he's talking about. And then, you know, depending on how he feels about a certain thing, you know, he's not going to budge from his position. He may, you know, he'll listen, he may acquiesce, but at the end of the day, if he feels a certain way, that's how he's going to be. And that makes sense too.
I do find myself Googling a lot of shit that just goes through my head for really no reason, but I just want to find out about it. Like,
Absolutely.
Why is that?
It's funny you say that. It says people with this personality type hardly ever stop thinking.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's always got his mind spinning, right? Which is, I mean, that makes PP. And last but not least, Coach is the entertainer. That one was nailed. Pop-Up, can you pull up entertainer real quick?
Yes, sir.
I already got a tattoo.
Spontaneous, energetic, and enthusiastic people. Life is never boring around them.
Yep.
No, these are
You
facts.
know, with Coach, we could just be sitting. We could be sitting at the airport, and lo and behold, we'll get into something. He'll see something. You know, Coach is. He's not afraid to say what's on his mind.
I'll go up and talk to him. I'll go up and hey.
Yeah, Coach has always been the stupid ass.
High key, Coach is the guy going back in Arizona the most.
Hey, Luna's firing at everyone today, huh?
Yeah, he is.
I love everybody. Hey, if I don't hate you, I don't love you.
That's
Okay,
my boy
what I say.
Luda. That's my boy
It's
Luda.
fun-
Go Rams. Go Rams.
Mr. Mick, real quick, sir. So the Commanders are the ones that find a way or make a way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So do you think those Commanders will find their way and make a way more often to the podcast?
Yeet.
You know, I'm just trying to say.
Hey,
Shots fired yet
I'm
again.
just trying to say.
I think you may have eaten the wrong chocolate this morning because
Rick Rob, this one's for you. That one's for you, homie.
you're
I
sour.
appreciate that.
So to wrap it up, I'm glad. Thank you everyone for filling out for taking the test, and it just like I said, it kind of gives us some perspective as to the personality types on this podcast, and it makes sense that that's our breakout, right? Because we all have specialized in some things, and we all kind of have our own piece that we bring to this podcast. So thank you everyone for obliging me on that.
Hey, well, thank you for putting that
and
together.
all those
man.
do dive a little deeper. I know you had to make it kind of quick, but if
Absolutely.
you really read into all of them,
Absolutely.
they all dive
Yeah.
quite a bit deeper.
Yeah, we could definitely get into some things on that, man. But I appreciate you for putting that out. That was interesting, and it was some good fodder and some good things to discuss. And yeah, we should continue that. You know what I mean? Just for those who don't know out there in the world, we are working on building the brand. We are going to be having a website here soon, and by soon I mean within the next month or two. We'll probably get into that and a whole lot more on that. And the website will probably more than likely allow you guys to interact and ask more questions and things of that nature. So I'm sure we're just barely scratching the surface.
Rick, I was just thinking about
What's that?
if we create like profiles for each person of the podcast and then put all the teams that they dig, all the teams they used to all the teams they used to be on, and
That's a great idea.
If they like
it's gonna read like a resume.
Exactly.
Fan of so and so from here to here.
I mean, or maybe put like an asterisk next to some of the teams because they claim they're a fan, but sometimes
They gonna jump soon.
Baba would have a huge resume there.
They're gonna lose that team soon.
He said Bob's gonna have a huge resume. All right, man. Let's wrap up third quarter and move on to the fourth quarter. It's bumping or dumping time. We got quite a few topics here to discuss. I don't know if we're gonna get to them all, but we got a few things, man. So let's jump it off with soccer. We touched on it earlier, man. First and foremost, I know we don't talk nearly enough soccer. We'll change that. We hear the fans that are asking for more of the soccer talk. We'll get to it. We definitely do. We do tap in, man, and we tapped in this past week where we found the U.S. men's national team once again failing to make the Olympics for a third straight Olympics, bro.
Yep.
I don't understand. Is it coaching? Is it players? Like, why doesn't the women's national team help us
athletes
out?
Don't play soccer.
Yeah.
United States best athletes do not play soccer. All the other countries, their best athletes play soccer.
Are we not looking into the right places?
I mean, bro,
I think it's the money thing. I think it's the money thing, honestly.
Are we not giving the right
get
kids
paid
the
enough.
right opportunity? Or is it politics where is it politics? There's certain people that don't get in that should be in, correct? Jamal, you've heard of this before?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Are you talking about the U.S. national team?
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's politics there too. It really comes down to money, in my opinion. And the problem is, it's getting in the ears of the right people, right? So think about Kyrie Irving as a field maestro, as a striker.
Exactly.
How he can handle the ball as a basketball player. If he could do that, half of that with his feet, he would be Leo Messi. Because he's built like that, right? Think about Tyreek Hill as a striker. Are you kidding me? Put the ball over the defense. Nobody's going to catch him. And he one-on-one with the keeper. It's silly.
You see a trend, though, that just happening?
What's that?
We need the black guys to start playing soccer.
We need best athletes.
Say, man, I'm keeping 100. They're the most athletic.
Who calling they, first of all? Who calling that?
We need them on our soccer
That's an
team.
acceptable pronoun in
Dwight
2021,
Howard as
bro.
the goalie to block everything. Like,
Right?
bro, I need you to block everything.
We need another Kobe Jones.
What do you mean they?
Robert Downey Jr. Back to the money. The money in the EPL and overseas, they get paid in euros, is way more money that they're getting paid in the NFL and the NBA for the top guys.
But why is it? Why is that?
Because they're not making the effort here.
That's their sport.
Because soccer is not a big sport.
They don't have anything else.
That's
Really.
like
Well, they have
basketball, but
that's
soccer
their
is
that's their
soccer
NFL.
is the sport.
Let me ask this question.
Soccer
you
is
guys,
the sport of the world, and it has been forever, really.
Right.
you guys are,
That's facts.
why isn't the men's national team the best, or at least making the Olympics, the last 3 Olympics? Look at the NBA. The NBA is not truly American, is it? Because a lot of the European players have.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. No, you're right.
It's more of an international game.
But what did the NBA do? We sent Jordan, we sent Kobe over to those areas. They need to send Messi's and Ronaldo's here to get to.
Well, they do.
They do. They
Oh,
have.
well, actually, no. They send clubs.
Sometimes Messi
Right.
and
They
Ronaldo
send-
were
they
here
send
doing a
clubs.
summer soccer tour. I don't remember.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're right. You're right. Because we definitely watched that. What game was it? Was it
Or a
Man U?
Neymar
And they didn't
or
have.
an Mbappe.
I mean,
like those
even
guys.
they weren't there.
even when the Olympics, like most teams in the world don't compare to the U.S. basketball team. Like,
When we went to the Man U at Galaxy game,
once we
how many
send all our
how many
top
fans were
players,
there?
like we just dominate. We just
Well,
roll through. That's
basketball
kind of
is
like
an
us
American
on the
game.
soccer
It started
side. Like,
here too.
every other
so,
country rolls through us.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Is it because also America has so many dominant sports? So to your point, if football, the rest of the world is their like primary sport. But what other primary sports do they have? Here in the United States, we've got 4 other sports that people can play in. Also, no one's talked about hockey. So we have hockey, basketball.
Which Euros are really good at.
hockey, basketball, baseball, and football, and then soccer. We have 5 sports to be able to take that same talent pool to spread through.
Right, but
they only have one pool. They actually, let's say they do have like rugby and this and that, but it's not nearly at the scale of another sport here in the United States.
Also, all those other 4 sports besides soccer, I mean, they all pay better, right? So if I was a young kid, I want to play basketball too, or I want to play football. I want to play.
Well, they pay better here. They pay better here.
Yeah, right.
Here in the United States.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what Nick was saying. I mean, EPL and EPL and.
How many U.S. players do you know go overseas and become really good, or actually can even hang with the people overseas?
That's very,
Renee,
very
I got
few.
one more point.
Few.
So now there's a money machine behind it, right? So if I'm going to market, if let's say I'm a football owner or a soccer owner, and I have to compete against the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, who have massive marketing budgets to get kids from the age of 2 all the way up to the age of 22. I've just been marketing my sport my entire time to them. You don't have that marketing machine behind soccer here in the United States to be able to compete for those same talent pools. Because at the end of the day, it's about money. Like Mick was saying, it's about money, and there's not enough money in the soccer or football here in the United States to compete against NFL, NBA, and even hockey. Hockey probably still could dominate more financially than a soccer team here in the Galaxy and all that stuff. Like, get out of here. They
all the way.
Well, to expand on your point, though, we're putting the cart before the horse because it starts at home with your parents. If I had a kid,
I was going to say,
if I had a kid who theoretically could have been a D1 basketball player, D1 football player, he has those kind of athletic traits, I'm pushing him to soccer, and I'm going to show him the economics. It's up to him to do it. And soccer is not a sexy sport here in the U.S., but abroad, soccer is the most. Like, if you take all of our sports in the U.S. and the fans here compared to all the soccer fans on the global spectrum, it's not even close. Soccer is that much more popular than anything else, and that's why there's so much money out there for soccer.
Yeah, but they have to go abroad though.
Abroad,
and to both of your points, I just want to go ahead and say this from my personal experience. My son is 7 years old. What do 7-year-olds love to do? Run, right? So soccer was a natural sport for him to get in. But not only does he love to do it because of running, but he's actually pretty nice at it. And I literally just got done having the conversation with him as he's getting ready to join his school's team. That's going to be his first school sport. You know what I'm saying? It's soccer. And I'm like, yo, we're going to keep you up with this. I was like, but understand this. Dad only has so many skills. I said, your Uncle Mick put me on a couple of years ago, but it's not like I ever really played or anything like that. I know basics. So I'm going to get him with people that will help, hone his skills and things like that. But to your point, Kenny, I said, yo, son, you might want to also brush up on, your European, your Italian or, your Spanish or whatever, because I mean, unless the economics start changing here at home, you're probably going to play abroad if you get nice enough. You know what I mean? But that's what you're going to expire.
Yeah. Even players here that go abroad, bro, they don't really stand out. Like are just. I'm not saying like. I mean, your son.
We had the young kid, but he got hurt.
Pulisic is an outlier. He's in Chelsea. He's doing his thing. And
well,
we've got
and the
Reyna's kid.
Reyna.
Kid.
The kid.
Claudio Reyna.
Reyna's kid. So, but yes, it's not.
There's some players that if you don't follow it enough, then you're not really going to know. But there are some serious players now that have made the leap from the U.S. over. And they're starting to get more and more recognition because they are athletic. That's the thing. Some kids have decided I am going to go that route. They're starting to see it more on television here in the United States, which is good. You're seeing it on, every single Saturday on NBC. There's a game. They show the Premier League and whatnot. So I just think in the long run, it's just got to be more of a push. And once you start to see the finances changing here in the U.S., which they started to, they can start paying out more money, then you'll see players stick around, or you'll have more Euros coming over to play as well, which helps the game. But it's no different, like going back to earlier, like the women's sport, right? Women's basketball is huge over in Europe. That's why all of our women players go over there and play. They play most of their women's basketball. They get all their summer money over there because that's where they're really going to get paid. And then they come back here to be home and play in the WNBA. Yeah. So, but
a lot of stuff that we got to definitely push with that, man. I don't know. Well, good points to everybody. Let's push forward to America's game. The NFL announced this week that it's been approved. We have 17 games, one less preseason game. So we're down to 3.
One loss for the Rams.
Yeah.
Boston Twitter.
I can't wait for this year, man. 49ers
I can't wait to watch the game when we
You're going to see 18 games. You're going to see 18 games within the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I think you should see 18 games because the preseason games really did start to get, sort of pointless, right? No, Mick, talk to me.
I don't like that idea for several reasons. One, and they're going to have to do this. They're going to have to expand the rosters. Right now, they're 53. They're going to have to expand the rosters. Another thing that I think we're going to see with more games is more meaningless games at the end of the season. So, like, you know how when teams are already up, you're going to see more of that. And I think what makes football so great is because
injuries.
For injuries.
But 53 people on the roster, Jesus.
Yeah, they still run out of players.
They still run out of players. That's why they have a taxi squad and a practice squad of 17 or 18.
Last point, real quick. What makes football so special? It's scarcity, right?
Yeah.
That's why
every game matters. Every game matters.
You're right, and I think everybody here would agree that, especially with COVID and not having the fans, a lot of this, especially the timing of this, is money, right? They got to re-up, find a way back to the black.
I think you're going to see some expansion. I really do. I think you're going to see. I don't be surprised. I heard somebody on radio this week when I was driving out to Arizona talk about a Euro division.
I heard about that.
Well, they've been there for years. So.
No, but an entire division of like 4 European teams.
Yeah. Right.
And then the other thought was, what other cities in the U.S. could look at having a team right now?
Ontario.
And Ontario.
Ontario.
One that was
close by.
The Los Angeles of Ontario.
They mentioned San Diego again, getting a squad at some point in time.
Yeah,
Portland was another one. And then they also said Chicago having a second team. As one of the largest cities in the country, not having a second squad in that's what they're saying anyways. Again, they're just looking at expansion.
Why don't they put one in a state that doesn't have a team?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you still got to have some attendance. You got to have.
You still got to have people show up.
But I think people will. I think people will.
Monarchs.
Huh?
You talking about the Montana Monarchs? What you talking about?
Whatever. I mean,
my two cents, Coach. You're going to see load management, just like you do in basketball.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Good call.
And that weakens the game. And just like Mick said, it's supply and demand. You look at MLB, and I know that we talked about robots or computers. If you could turn on a TV and find a football game on, it's not that special. Whereas baseball is like that. Football is we wait. Yeah. We can't wait for the next season to start.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Eagles keep playing the way that they're playing. I'm gonna wait for them to retire the franchise.
If they start load managing, that's gonna mess up our fantasy football stats too.
As a fan,
stop playing that too.
As a fan, I love the fact that there's gonna be more games.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know there are all those other things you guys are saying do play into all this, but
I mean,
injuries.
So let's to your point. Kamara, all that money he's making, I don't want to hear him bitching about it.
But here's the deal. Like, so if these dudes can barely manage 16 games without like catastrophic injuries, you're adding 2 more games that, just to your point, let's say even if you do load management, it's still probability, right? It's any given game, any given week, you could be donezo. So you need enough. So if you did the expansion part, you would need enough players that have that same caliber of playing. And let's say you don't. So then that means you just dilute the entire pool. Right. Because you still need enough people to fill that roster. But the second thing is, if you have more games, these guys, even if you cut out a couple preseason games, which half the time the starters don't even play, if they have to play into the normal season, and to your point, let's say you got these useless games for those teams that are 100% going to go in, and you have these games where it's a must-win to get in. How I can't say that you can get another 2 more games out of these starters, especially let's say you're not you're a rookie or whatever the case is. Like, okay, your body's a little younger. If you got like a player who's been playing for like 10 years, 8 years, whatever number is, like this body can't sustain that type of punishment for an extra 2 games. But they've already every season.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But at the same time, if these players want to get paid more money, how do you bring in more money if you ain't got more games?
And I'm going to
tell you, like the whole league has to bring in more money for players to start getting paid more, right? So for that to happen, you need to have more games.
And the way that they bring in their money is by television rights, which means more
and
more
let
games.
me say this: if they're playing and they get hurt, whatever, next man up, motherfucker. Okay,
Nah.
next man.
These are
That's
beats.
like-
Kinda right though.
It is so true.
Right.
A lot of
Hey.
guys nowadays are getting injured just in practice because they
Yeah.
don't practice like they used to practice also. So
Yeah.
they've cut down on the amount of practice time. They've cut down on all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I mean, look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs lost their top lineman during a practice. You know, blew out his knee in practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So-
injuries are a thing.
Practice.
Yeah,
Proud
not a game, but practice. Injuries
Next
injuries
man
are a
up.
big
Injuries
thing.
are going to
so
happen.
Next
Yeah.
man up.
It's shitty,
It-
but
I-
they're going to
hey,
happen.
Good points. We'll see how it goes this year and where we go from here. So real quick, let's talk about a couple other things. A legend this week announced that he's retiring. And that is Coach Roy Williams of UNC fame, of Kansas fame. He has decided that after I forget how many years, 30 plus.
Luda's clapping as a
Luda's
Duke
clapping.
fan.
Of
They
course,
should have
he-
grabbed Coach K. They should have done.
I was about to say,
it.
Coach K is next, just so you know.
Hey, goodbye. Nah, good. Good job, Roy Williams. Good job.
Yeah. Respect to the GOAT. You guys, what do you guys think about it? Any quick thoughts on that?
So I saw that they want to try to keep it in house, and I think that's
Yeah.
a great idea. It's very respectful for a program, top 10, top 5 program over however many years ago, and to keep it in house, that'd be a great thing to do.
Yeah, that should be fun, man. Look, I'm a UCLA fan, but I always loved NC because of Jordan and many of the greats, James Worthy, they came out of there. It's a shame to see him go, but the Tar Heels will push forward, and they'll still be beating the Dukies every year. All right, and with that, go ahead.
Quick, what I like to say is just like Michigan has done with Jalen, not Jalen.
Juwan Howard.
Juwan Howard, yeah.
I think that's he is a breath of fresh air for that program, and they got to find other
Gary
programs
Stackhouse he's in coaching.
staying. I mean, that's you want to recruit people. That's an automatic, Deion Sanders, right?
Yeah.
But
That's
not all
facts.
players make good coaches. You know what I mean?
Touche,
Yeah.
Renee.
No,
We
Touche.
can talk about that.
Yes, they have to have that.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about that.
Mike
for
Singleton.
sure. Mike
Well,
Singleton.
I mean, I've got some theories on
Mike
that, but we'll
Singletary
unpack that later. I've got some theories on that. Like
Oh,
Magic
on Mike
Johnson,
Singletary?
too. No. On why not all coaches make great, or not all players make great coaches.
Can't do it. Can't coach him. Won't do it.
Can't do it, won't do it.
We'll say that for episode 49. So one more thing, and then we'll cut out Coach, and you'll get a chance to go ahead and speak on your final word. There was a lot of announcements made. I know we talked about Mike Tyson and Roy Jones fighting, and Lamar Odom. Some legends have been lined up for some. I don't know if I want to call them major fights, but let's
call them exhibitions.
let's just go. I'm gonna try my best to do this in order of actual competitiveness. Okay, and I'm sorry if I got this off, but let's see what's announced. Let's go. Chavez Jr. versus Hector Camacho. Chavez Sr. versus Hector Camacho Jr. We got Anderson Silva booked to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We got Miguel Cotto coming back to fight Marquez. And then we've got Pacquiao, who is set to fight Crawford. Actually, I don't know if that one's been official yet.
Pacquiao Crawford's the only relevant fight on this.
No. We got Mike Tyson and Holyfield too.
No,
That's
I heard that was off.
That's all.
Is it? Yeah.
They can't come to a dollar agreement, supposedly.
Well, hold on. The key word in that was relevant, Luda. That's relevant.
Yeah. I agree.
Pacquiao and Crawford should be a pretty decent fight. That should be a good fight.
If that happens, I think that one's still in the stages of being. I think Pacquiao said he's going to come back, but Terrence Crawford is who he is. He's aiming for. Which, I watched a lot of Pacquiao.
Terrence wants paydays right now because it's hard for him. No, but I'm just saying it's hard for him to land. Nobody
want to fight him,
guys, right? Because he's good.
That fool's a dog.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the legends lineup. What do y'all think about these fights?
They're all trash except for.
Come on, it's all a money thing.
I might watch the Cotto Marquez fight. I mean, I know they're older, but I don't think they're like way old.
That one will probably be pretty decent, pretty entertaining.
And at least they're both still in their sport that they.
What do y'all expect from Chavez Sr.?
No,
senior. I don't know what the hell he's thinking.
Somebody's gonna have a seizure
against Hector Camacho Jr., who's already old too.
Might as well have Sugar Ray Leonard out there fighting.
Hey, you guys like ballroom dancing?
Right? Hey man, look. They said during the Tyson and
is it a 3-round? Is it a 3-round match?
I mean, right?
Yeah.
They said during the Tyson fight that they looked like two uncles fighting at a cookout. Like that's
Right.
Yo, what do we really expecting from the Chavez Jr. match? The Anderson Silva Chavez Jr. is an interesting one, but I once again think that this is years too late.
I hope Silva throws a kick. Just end it.
Right? Yeah, he just gets frustrated.
Yeah, just get frustrated, throw a kick in there. Now we got
like
now
I don't know what he's thinking. Honestly,
has it broken like he did with one fight? That shit just.
I think Chavez Jr. should probably knock him out if this is a serious fight. But
won't that start a brawl if he kicks him?
That'd be
yeah.
Probably
that's what
might be the
want.
most entertaining thing.
Yeah,
maybe they want another.
Might be the reason why we watch
McGregor thing. I mean, I don't. This is just interesting. Like, where are these money grab? What is this?
They should do it like brackets. You know what I mean? Like they make it to the first round. They got to fight the next day.
No,
but is this where the state of boxing is? You know what I'm saying? Like, Ed, talk to me, man. Is this where the state of boxing is?
Not real boxing, because all those fights are just entertainment, money, this and that.
No, I think that's what he said.
Only one is the Crawford Pacquiao one.
No, I know, but I think what Rick's trying to say though is this where boxing really is at this point? Like, in other words,
there's no interest.
There's nothing else. There's nobody else.
No, I don't think that the fighters don't want to fight each other. That's the problem.
It's the promotions.
Yeah, I think it might be the promoters.
I think because they're not going to get the big ass venues as they would get if they do promote it.
And there's 97 belts. You know, like
because you have Bob Arum who has Crawford. Well, Bob Arum doesn't want to put him against Errol Spence, who belongs to Al Heyman in the PBC, because if Bob Arum's fighter loses, well, he's losing a bunch of money. Right. If Errol Spence loses, well, Al Heyman's losing a bunch of money. So Al Heyman would rather Errol Spence fight.
That's what I'm saying. There's
Keith Thurman, who's also his other fighter.
But so he gets all the money. He gets all the money, but there's too many. Like, there's too many. Belts. It just needs to be like one league.
Yeah.
You know, needs to be like UFC.
There needs to be one belt.
Right, per weight
like
class,
the UFC,
and
you just have one.
Be done with it. So then guys have to fight. Instead of these guys being promoters, they would just be their manager.
Yeah,
you know, and that's it.
There's too many motherfucking promoters.
I can tell y'all, man, this is rough. I'm not hyped. I'm not hyped. Mm-mm. You know, one other fight we'll talk about is the John Jones one. I hope that goes down, but we'll save that for next week. Boxing, do better, please, man. Y'all start fighting each other, please. We want some real fights. Let's get this Pacquiao Crawford going and let everybody else go for it. Go ahead, Coach.
Just throw this twist out here. Would we rather see on this podcast? Would you rather see soccer, improved men's soccer, or just what we were talking about 10 minutes ago, or boxing? If you had to pick and choose one or the other, which one would you
pick?
Men's soccer.
Yeah, that's boxing. A tough one, but soccer. Yeah,
I mean, could you imagine just a gang of Negroes just running around like the NFL on a soccer field?
Get him, Tyrone!
That's called the Screaming Eagles in Nigeria.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like Nigeria got that. I would rather watch boxing. I'm always down to see people fight. Like I like the adrenaline rush. I like to see people throw hands. I like people sleep.
But you have UFC. You have UFC.
But I ain't even watching UFC like that either.
I know it's not boxing, but
I'm just saying I watch UFC too, but I like something about boxing, the technique and all that. I think I like it a lot. So
something about seeing a guy get knocked out.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's the barbaric.
I'd love to see that any day than to see some guy get put to sleep by a chokehold. That fucking boring ass.
Well, even then, I would rather see someone get knocked out than see someone score a goal.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, real quick, shout out to the UFC for having 3 African champions. I just want to put that out there. With that being said, we will go ahead and jump into the final word. So, Coach, on your return. Man, you look so happy. I don't even know what to do about this, brother. The floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. People in podcast land, you have no idea. I'm just going to use one word: blessed. I'm just going to give you a brief couple reasons why I've been blessed. Today is obviously Easter, and all praise to God. But my mom had a stroke over 10 years ago, and she's been blessed, and she's still alive and kicking and sarcastic as all can be. My 3 kids, been blessed, all 3 of them. They interact, they love each other, and been blessed with that. My job, been blessed to work with these students and other people that I've worked with. Coaching, all kinds of sports, you name it. I've been blessed for that. And finally, but never least, my friends and these guys on the podcast. We've said it numerous times, and I'm just going to say it again because it means a lot. And I'm going to give you just a small snapshot. I've been off the podcast for a couple of weeks just for other certain reasons, and I was kind of dreading it last night into today. And that's the enemy. And I know I'm not trying to get too spiritual, but as these guys have said, and I've been smiling the whole time, I'm just glad to be back because it's a bond that I'm sure that a lot of you out there have hopefully with people and family, friends. And I just can't be more thankful for what God has given me.
Amen. I'm glad you found the light. I'm glad you found the light, sir.
Hey, for sure, man. And blessings be to you and the family, man. That is a big major thing. And you know what? I'm glad that you had said that because I wanted to give a couple of shout outs. One of my best friends, his mom just found out she has cancer. Luckily, they caught it very early and were able to perform a procedure that should help her get through that and pull through that. One of my other good friends, dad is going through some stuff right now. They're not really sure exactly what's happening. There's a lot going on out there. You know what? I just want to say, I hope everybody treats every day like a true blessing, and every day that we have the ones that we do have around us, like a blessing, because we never know, what I'm saying? That clock is always ticking and we never know when it's set to expire. I'm blessed for you guys, what I'm saying, a part of this podcast, those that are here and those that aren't. We are blessed to have you fans that listen, that tap in. David Ruiz, we see you, my man. Appreciate you for tapping in. We appreciate all those that are listening out there in podcast world, as Bob would like to call it, for Menifee. And we hope that y'all continue to listen into us. There'll be plenty more to come. Tune in again next week when 49 is on live. We love y'all. And with that, we out. Peace.
Happy Easter.
Shout out, Rudy.
Happy